The regeneration project came into existence in 2009. At the time, it was very much housing-led, and it was very much quality improvement-led, meaning it was not necessarily from the start by the council intended to further densify this already most densely populated ward, but to improve the housing stock, which would mean demolition of some buildings and replacement, but also refurbishment of the majority of buildings were actually singled out for refurbishment. And then it translated into the so-called Church Street Futures Plan. And that was very much in collaboration with local people, with local stakeholders. We always knew what they were going to propose and why, and we could have a good say on the plans. What the council is currently presenting, we focus on the sites A, B, C, which include the delivery of a new library, has not been agreed with local people. It is something that local stakeholders oppose, the users of the library oppose.
So I see a police officer, which is part of the Safer Neighbourhoods team for this area, and I showed him the poster, and he said to me, when these plans came out, the council asked us our opinion about community safety in relation to how the place would be after the regeneration, and we put forward a number of concerns. They've ignored all of them. The fact that they came to us was just a tick-boxing exercise, and they just go ahead and do what they want without any concern.
So I think on the upside, the developments will clearly provide some new improved housing for some people, and I think that will be a good thing. I think there is a risk that there will be overdevelopment and that the neighbourhood will feel restrictive, and I'm scared that it'll be a bit dark and windy potentially. I'm concerned the impact the development will have on the market, but hopefully some of the planned new infrastructure for the market will mean it will survive, but it's hard to know how it will feel. And I think generally having such high buildings proposed along Church Street will inevitably really alter the feel of the street. And the million-dollar question is, will it still feel like a local community street, or will it just feel like a sort of corporate street that you get anywhere else? Will it lose its uniqueness?
The landlords is the council, but I presume they have a commercial lease, and a commercial lease is, if the landlord asks you to come to an agreement and you move out, it's a financial arrangement. So yes, that's why if you're looking at how the regeneration will impact the local economy, you have to consider how it will impact on the businesses which will have to move, and then you have the market, which, and on a Saturday it's a destination place, so people come from all around to buy fruit and veg. The question is really, if the council puts up the rent when the new developments have been created, and if that's their intention, will then the cafes and the businesses that replace the current ones cater for the local community and take away the character?
So I think the council have probably done their best, but unfortunately it's been more of a sales exercise than a genuine consultation and engagement. I think in their desire to steam ahead after years and years and years of talking about this thing, I think they've been a bit hasty in terms of putting out information that isn't as accurate as it could be and is quite misleading, and then inevitably getting quite positive feedback from what was misleading information in the first place. So my fear is that when the reality happens, people are going to feel quite let down, and I think the council won't understand why that's happened because they think they've done a good job, but I genuinely don't think they have. So I'm part of the Church Street Ward Neighbourhood Forum, and we are in the process of working on producing a neighbourhood plan. It's quite complicated because we're not allowed to contradict anything that's in existing council policy in law. And so our challenge is to work out what should and shouldn't be in there. The the main things we will have in the plan are not just based on recent consultation over the last 5 years. It's probably consultation going back 20 years, knowing the community really well, having a real sense of what's important to people, and we hope the plan will reflect that.
The neighbourhood plan is completely different from the council's master plan. The neighbourhood plan proposal is fully worked out, and it is also quite specific in the alternative it sets out for sites A, B and C. This alternative proposal, which includes building lower on sites A and B, but putting more homes onto site C by integrating the street properties along Edgware Road, that was agreed by the Church Street Neighbourhood Forum and put forward, and it was rejected.
The market needs improvement, but it won't just be improvement by providing Wi-Fi for the market traders. There must be a development plan both for the commercial retail sector and for the market, so that it doesn't just depend on market forces.
Though a lot of what matters to the community doesn't really come under neighbourhood planning, so we might have to have a separate document that really focuses on things like employment, youth facilities, childcare, better, more GP provision and stuff like that, that doesn't strictly come under the plan, but is actually what really matters to people.
There has to be a process now where people, first of all, are explained in a meaningful way what would be happening if these plans were approved. If then there's a kind of cooperative amendment process, because I can't see the council starting from scratch again, although there is a good case for starting for a completely new, fresh set of co-design plans, but at least if we can collaborate to provide amendments and changes to these plans so that everybody can be happy with what's going on.
Anyway, no problem. Physio space.